Good morning. We're going to prep some Pathfinder. We got a game at 9, so we got less than 40 minutes. Not a lot of prep needed. So what I was going to do is make sure that this game, which we didn't play last weekend, is actually set up and running on Foundry 11, because there were some updates. And then I was going to compare and contrast it to the Monday night game, which is slightly ahead, and sort of make sure both worlds are, matching up, essentially. Yeah. So let's see. A couple of things happened here. I want to make sure that if Compendium Browser is a thing, it's turned on in both. So hold on a sec. I don't have Compendium Browser. Can you browse compendiums? Yeah, it's built in, so you don't need that mod anymore. Okay. So over here, we'll just say save, and there'll be a quick reload. Ugh. All right. It's been a long week. Long week. Big move at my day job. Choppy off the finger. That didn't feel very good. I don't know. But we're here. We made it to Saturday. A lot of D&D this weekend. Well, a lot of games this weekend. Got Pathfinder this morning. I've got Curse of Strahd Classic Group tonight. I've got Curse of Strahd Daybreak tomorrow. Got Mythic Sunday night. And then we just roll into another week of tabletop. Alright, let's see. Compendium library. Compendium folders. Begin that migration. Don't show again. Cool. Alright. So we'll just do half and half on this one. There we go. Okay. And we'll just slowly but surely get everything matched up. So, let's see. Alright. We'll start with the calendar. So, let's see. On the 5th, this dude will get arrested. Cat'll be arrested. Alright. So, we're going to go here. Star Day. We're going to add an event. Call it Cat'll be arrested. And save. Lovely. Alright. Oh no, save it. There you go. And then on the 10th, we have Jerry's Tetanus Day. Alright, we can actually remove that event because we have opted to ignore tetanus on Undead. That's probably going to be the first thing we address in the inevitable world patch document for Pathfinder is Undead PCs, because what an absolute fucking mess. What an absolute fucking mess. So, we'll get that sorted out. Alright, so that's really the only thing we needed to match up on the calendar. Everything else should be good. And everything else is just sort of per the adventure, I guess. Like the pacing that they're keeping. So that's a whole thing. Alright, then we've got locations on the map. Alright, let's scroll in over here. Try to get all that stuff synced up. There we go. Close this. Alright. All that's looking the same, but we have Gold Tank Reserve, JoJo's Chicken Hut, and Whaling Scrapyard. Okay. So, then we have Ketron's Orphanage, Gattleby's House. Okay. So... how am I able to grab this? No way. Okay. So we'll grab that. And then Over here. We'll go ahead and grab this. Paste. Text. Paste. Beautiful. And hide, because we don't need that yet. Whaling scrapyard. Don't need that anymore, but I guess we could add it here for, like, I don't know, for similitude or some shit. There we go. Just to kind of keep things sort of the same in both worlds. There we go. Go in here, swap this out like that. Okay. I'm really struggling here with this levels tool trying to pop up. It's making it very hard to see. Like, I appreciate that levels is trying to do its job, but man, it's being pretty aggressive about it. Alright, let's see. I guess it's like somewhere around here. There we go. Alright, then we got something called the widget works. I'm not sure why I had to add that to the map, but I did. So we'll go ahead and add that. Go. I don't believe anyone's logged in right now, so this is a good time to be adding like map locations. There we go. They might be updating it in the revised rules. Oh yeah, I ain't gonna do any world patch work at all, Dom, until I'm like halfway through this campaign. I need to be like starting book 3 of this campaign before I do anything else. In theory, you could have a blank map of Alkenstar, and add single fonts. I mean, it's mostly a blank map. I have a blank map because the adventure comes with a really nice map pack that you can mess with. Out of the 5 bad guys on the dashboard, which one do I think the players will kill first? I think that they will probably kill Thorn. I think Thorn will get killed first. I think Cadenex will cry when Thorn gets killed because he would rather romance him. But yeah, I think Thorn will probably get killed first. Thorn and Boots, I have them inserted into the adventure. They actually get put in the adventure in a what's the word I'm looking for? Confrontational way. Skidra, she's just gonna be like there, you know what I'm saying? If they make it to the end of the adventure, whichever of these 3 haven't been killed, they're gonna be there for the end of the adventure. So even Boots, I guess, will I mean, get adopted by Angelique if Ambrose gets taken out. But Boots would actually team up with the party if they were willing to save Ambrose. So we'll have to see what happens, I guess. Okay. So let's see. They're over here at Gattleby's house. No. They went to wherever the brewery is. I don't think the brewery was... I don't think its actual location is on the map. Let me see. Go to the end of the adventure. There's a lot going on in this adventure. I think it's very interesting. I think it's a very interesting adventure. I was excited about it when I read about it, and I definitely think that there's some cool shit here. Let's see. Okay. It doesn't actually tell me. It just says where the old Widget Works warehouse is. It doesn't actually tell me where, yeah, where the brewery is at. I wonder if the interactive maps tell me. Yeah, book 2, the whole like have fun TPKing your party with this Eldritch horror encounter that we forced you to have. Kind of sucks. It's probably it's the lowest point of the whole campaign. And then book 2 is like, I don't know. They really want you to ride in an airship in this adventure, and I just feel like they didn't. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a better job. I tried not to do a lot of rewrites to this adventure, but that one definitely required the most rewrites of the 3 books, for sure. 3 is good. 3 kind of has the vibe of like everybody just wants this shit to be over with. Like that's how 3 felt. It was like, well, let's wrap this up. Come on, let's do this. So I don't know. Overall, it's pretty good. Yeah. So how did you handle Fingers 96? How did you handle the HP Lovecraft monster? Did you get a TPK? Like how'd your people deal with that? I'm very curious. Let's see. Let's go to the brewery. Alright, Yeast of All Brewery. Where could we put that shit? Probably down this way, just to make their life miserable, since there's no official location for it. There we go. So we'll go here. Change out the text. There we go. And then, let's see. I did with the Eldritch Monster that if he is not in a sharp angle space, it would get W to all physical 10. Yeah, but there's only like 10 tiles in the entire dungeon where that happens. Because wherever the floor meets the wall, that's a sharp angle. So there's really only... I have a map that like has a tile overlay of the whole thing. There's only like 10 tiles in the whole dungeon where he would have that happen to him. Let's see. Throw this in here. And do this. Oh yeah, the sphere. I didn't even think it could go into the sphere though. The sphere's like a safe place. I think I have it in my notes. Hold on. Let's see. Book 1, Book 2. Alright. Spellscar, Claws of Time, no TPKs. Foreshadowing is a boon. Well, for sure, the adventure does provide it. Like, there's an entire thread here about how to run this encounter so that everybody doesn't die. Here, this is the map I was referring to. Yeah. So, right here, it shows you, like, all the green spaces are essentially places where the creature either won't go or can't go. Maybe the person that made the map wasn't thinking about the sphere on the outside, because technically, here, we'll draw this picture real quick. Alright. So, like, here's the floor, right? And obviously, where the wall is, those are the sharp angles, right? But if you've got a sphere, like, in the floor, where the sphere grows out of the floor, that would actually not be a 90-degree angle. So looking at it from the side, you got the floor, and you got that. Would that be a 90-degree angle? Where the sphere hits the, Okay, hold on. Is a hemisphere creating a 90-degree angle? Or does a hemisphere? It's probably a better question. Unless it's a really narrow hemisphere, I guess initially this would still be this guy right here would still be a 90-degree angle. So yeah, I mean, it's just not safe anywhere. Well, yeah, but the sphere is not something that they made. It was a natural geode that they found in the earth, you know? Yes, the undead ancestry. Yes, we've been dealing with the ambiguity of that in both the game I play in and the game I'm running. So I am definitely looking for some, yeah. Yeah. I am looking for some more clarity on how undead PCs run, because it just doesn't feel like very well thought out. But yeah, if I were to go over to this location in the adventure, I think I actually overlaid that colored map onto the map that we're using for that part of the dungeon. Let's see. The Cradle, excuse me, of Quartz. I have heard of Bloodlords, but I'm running like 3 Curse of Strahd campaigns right now, and I was like, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. Oh yeah, here you go. You can see that I went ahead and I marked off all of these safe areas already based on that map. So when they get here, all of that is already like marked off. My goal is not to kill people in this game. I just want them to learn how to play. If my goal was to kill people in this, they all would have died fighting cockroaches in the scrapyard last session. But I'm not overly excited about this arc at all, because yeah, I agree that book 2 is a hot fucking mess. So yeah. I'm excited to play in Stolen Fates. Stolen Fates is one that I was thinking about running after Alkenstar, but I have an opportunity to play in Stolen Fates, so I'd much rather play in it. Now, Kingmaker has been on my DM bucket list for about 10 years now, so the idea that it's fully built for Foundry, interactive tools, special tools, and stuff built just for Foundry, man, it's pretty tempting. It's pretty tempting. But it's a 3-year-long campaign. That's a big investment. 3 years? So, I don't know. I don't know if I could commit to a 3-year-long campaign. I'm already finishing up, like, 2.5, 3-year long campaigns, so I don't know if I want to do that again. So I don't think Curse of Strahd's going to go 3 years. I think both my Curse of Strahd games will probably go 2 years. Because I did have some additional content and we had some rules that make it much more difficult and gritty. But yeah, another 3-year long commitment, it just, I don't know. As much as I really want to run Kingmaker, I don't know if I would be able to do that. So, yeah, I don't know if I would ever want to play in Kingmaker because I don't know if I could ever find a GM that I like that much that I would want to spend 3 years being a player with. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right. Any other things we got to match up? Let's go back to the dashboard for players. All right. Alright, so this party left off in the middle of a fight against a haunt. They are being absolutely destroyed. They're having a really terrible time overall. Once they make it through the scrapyard, it will be downtime, level up, and then they'll receive their next mission. The other group already did the mini game. They went to get Gattleby, all that kind of stuff. That's already taken care of. And so far, so good on that front. I don't really think there's too much else that these guys would need sorted. Yeah, I think we're pretty much good to go to run the session, which is good because we only got about 15 minutes. Okay. So let's go ahead then and jump into the scrapyard and see how things are going for them. Let's see. Punks and Powder Keg, Reach for the Sky, Wailing Scrapyard. Is Forbidden Lands superior for hex crawling or just superior to Pathfinder 2 in general? Fingers 96. Let's see. So we got these guys. They're fighting this ghost right here. He's like somewhat transparent. That's kind of cool. Man, these guys really work hard on this shit. Oh, there he goes. And then we've got this Knowles encounter up ahead. We got these Leshy over here. And then finally we've got Bristlebane herself at the end. I did end up making Bristlebane an elite because guns just deal so much damage that I feel like any boss that you're up against, if the party has a lot of guns, like it's pretty much over for that boss pretty quick. Like there's DPS and then there's like gun DPS. So I don't know. I don't even know if like ads are gonna make a difference for some of these bosses, because obviously if you get in a boss fight, you wanna burn down the boss as quickly as possible, and much like 4th edition, like you can do some real big burst damage in Pathfinder 2. So like if they really pile onto the gunslingers, they can drop some pretty sick damage pretty quick. This group does not have the damage potential of the other group. The other group, Sunset, has a fighter and 2 gunslingers, so their DPS is absolutely bananas. This group is kind of a mess, really. Like their builds are okay, but their party comp is a little weird. Also, they're struggling with like the D&D 5e mentality of like, I can take care of myself and everyone can take care of themselves, and they're not really understanding that like everyone has to work together as like a well-oiled machine. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah. Old school fantasy, but very survival and bloody. That does sound like it would be better for a hex crawl. Yeah. That's the other thing. Like a hex crawl will be pretty fun to run, I guess. But I would never want to do it again in a system like 5e, where magic just trivializes outdoor exploration. Abomination, not Abomination Vaults, Tomb of Annihilation, it really just kind of killed Hexcrawl for me. Did they learn to heal between encounters yet, at least? Not really, no. This scrapyard really is like a meat grinder trial by fire crucible of testing, for sure. Like there's definitely, it's definitely taking the piss out of them, as it were. They're learning real fast that this ain't 5th edition D&D. All right, so I've got about 5 or 6 minutes here, so I'm gonna go ahead and look through some Dr. Robin Zorro comments to see exactly what we screwed up here. So let's see. Last Tuesday, we got hit with a super stupefy. That sucks. Yeah, agreed. We forgot that when you crit fail a tumble through, you fall prone. So that was a bank error in our favor, which is good. Let's see. What else we got? I feel like we're screwing less and less things up every week, which is kind of neat. Okay. Stitch flesh feet for anybody in a party with undead. Yeah, we took that advice. Alright, let's see. Clutch took the hand wraps with the +1 rune on them. That's 35 GP of the player's expected loot. We accounted for that, and Clutch's replacement just came in with a +1 rune weapon. So they actually made some money off of that exchange. Spellcasting services are uncommon. Having a spell cast for you requires finding a spellcaster who knows it and is willing to cast it. It's hard to find someone who can cast higher level spells, and uncommon spells typically cost at least 100% more. If you can find someone who knows them at all, spells that take a long time to cast, over a minute, usually cost 25% more. You must pay any cost listed in the spell in addition to the price on the table. So, remove disease is 18 gold to cast, plus any cost required to cast the spell. So it's going to be 22.5 gold pieces, without taking into account the scarcity of spells in Alkenstar. Now, I love the idea of NPCs charging to cast spells. It's a great resource tax. It's very video gamey. The counter would be, as a player character, why am I not getting paid 22.5 gold to cast spells? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much, like, video game logic in Pathfinder 2e that I don't even know. Like, other than to just tell people that's just how it is. Like, if they turn around and are like, well, I'm gonna cure disease every day for 22.5 gold, that's gonna be way more money than if I was trying to earn money normally. And it's like, what are you gonna tell the players, right? Like, you just tell them, no one will pay you for that service. The end. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. You live in a video game. You're not an NPC. It's not happening. I mean, you could try your best to come up with a rationale for this, but, like, it wouldn't make sense. If I'm willing to cast Cure Disease at half the price, 11 gold, if I'm willing to cure disease for 11 gold, who wouldn't at least be tempted to come give me 11 gold for that? So it's weird, like, that they have stuff like that where, like, the NPCs can cast a spell and charge you for it, but you yourself as a player aren't normally in a situation where you could do that. I think it's good because I don't want the economy of the game completely ruined. I don't want people to just make money. Like, that's not the game shouldn't just be make imaginary money simulator. I want it to be about adventuring, right? I'm not running like merchant spellcaster simulator, but it is a weird disconnect in that way, in my opinion. So yeah. Right, the thrill of adventure. It's much better than just getting paid to cast the same spell every day. Making items with the crafting skill is more about discounting with time or getting items that are limited, either due to the market not having it or not having enough of it, or there being no market to access at all. For on-the-spot combat or daily quick crafting, you have flavors Alchemist class, Inventor class, Scrounger archetype, Scroll Trickster, various classes such as Witch that can create daily prep items, Prescient Planner feat, which is just fantastic. It's the ultimate lazy man feat. Making permanent items that could be sold will never be as good because adventure, and then crafters will outstrip other players like wizards could do in 3.5. Yeah, exactly. Earning income is bad compared to current level murder hoboing to encourage you to continue murder hoboing. Exactly. Some of the great power of the smalls is hidden in create food spell. Most small creatures eat 1/4 as much as medium creatures. 1/16 as much for tiny creatures, and most large creatures eat 10 times. Oh my god. 10 times as much food, or 100 times as much if they're a huge creature, and so on. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yikes. 1,000 coins of any type is 1 bulk, but 999 coins are 0 bulk. Adorable. It's fucking video game land. Actually, Pathfinder 2 never mentions what happens if the spellbook or formula book is lost. I think the assumption is it's a class requirement, so it's going to be easy enough to get it back, because otherwise, the class just doesn't work. Another video gamey aspect of it, for sure. They make you have a book, but then it's just sort of always in your prison pouch, I guess. Safe in your prison pouch, where no one can take it from you. You can add a formula to your formula book in 1 hour, either from a schematic or directly from someone else's formula book. If you have an item, you can try to reverse engineer its formula. This uses the craft activity and takes the same amount of time as creating the item from the formula would. And I'm assuming it destroys the item too, but I'd have to check. Usually a smith can transfer the runes for 10% cost, and as a GM, you really should allow this by a blacksmith, as a +1, +2, +3 runes are necessary, as well as striking runes. Yes, it's very much the same as 4th edition D&D. Like, magical items aren't a privilege, they are a right. You have to have them, or you will die. Yeah. Yeah, 100 times. How is that sustainable? Like, that's crazy. Let's see. As I don't use Foundry or Complex VTT, I'm not currently using all the new rules, as I have no idea about the weird ability score stuff. No shit, bro. That wasted like 30 minutes of our time during the level up session trying to figure that shit out. Decipher writing. Society or survival to use a map correctly. Ah, okay. Got it. I had no idea. The null fight, gun crits be scary, yo. Absolutely. This campaign, the gun crits, it's out of control. Attacks are not manipulate. That includes strike, trip, disarm, shove, and grapple grab. Well, that's good. Enlarge is a spell. She should have triggered wild magic. Ah, shit. You're right. Let's see. Would have been a 15% chance for wild magic, too. The only one that fits for Diplo in combat is the single action request. You can house rule and make it more actions or harder depending on enemy's outlook. Request is usually for friendly or helpful creatures, but you can make it 9 to 12 actions over multiple turns, with all allies not being hostile, or make it worse of another level 15 feet locked ability called Legendary Negotiation. Level 15, you must be legendary in diplomacy. You can negotiate incredibly quickly in adverse situations. You can attempt to make an impression and then request your opponent cease their current activity and engage in negotiations. You can take a -5 penalty to diplomacy. The GM sets the DC for the request based on circumstance. It's generally at least very hard DC of the creature's levels. Some creatures might simply refuse. Even those who agree to parley might ultimately find your arguments lacking and return to violence. That's rough. I'm kind of sad that you can't do diplomacy in the middle of a fight. But this system really likes fighting, so I guess that makes sense. You guys should be using aid a lot more now that you're past level 7. Yes, I know. I know. We're terrible at Pathfinder. Let's see. You could use your own slots to cast with staves. Or prepared casters can put in more charges daily. Oh, that's neat. Fortunately, I only have to know about staves in the other game and not in this one. Great Divine spells for level 5. Drop Dead, Wall of Flesh, Heroism, Rip the Spirit, Summon Celestial, Prying Eye, Invoke Spirits, Rewinding Step, Mere Malefactors, Wisdom of the Wind. Shit, I don't know if I took any of those spells. I found some good ones, though. I found some good spells. Oh, shit. Well, that's enough looking at rules. Yeah, the issue, Dom, was if you're only getting a partial increase, like, how do you even track? Like, you got +1.5 now? It's weird. So, I don't know. I was supposed to go through and turn that feature off, and I forgot to, which is unfortunate. But, anyways, I gotta go run the game. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you next time.